Bocchi the Rock, Chapter 76 Review. Anxious Heart to Heart. Rei Caldombra here for the first of my reviews of Bocchi the Rock's manga chapters. After watching and absolutely loving the anime, I caught up with the manga starting from where the anime left off. I don't think enough people who enjoyed Bocchi the Rock's anime have picked up the manga. The anime does have many standout aspects that elevate the manga, but the manga is still extremely good and has the core of what makes Bocchi the Rock great, which is not the music or the visual gags, it's the great comedic writing and huge cast of endearing characters. I understand wanting to wait until the second season so everything is new alongside the adaptation editions, but I really recommend reading the manga. I'm not going to go at length about my series-wide thoughts so I can focus on the chapter, and I may do a whole post on the series as a whole or specifically on the anime. So my short version thoughts are that the series is excellent on every front. The anime is legit a 10 out of 10. Nijika is the best girl of Kazoku Band, Seika is the waifu, Hiroi is hilarious, and the adult characters as a whole are just as great as the band members, and a big reason why this series stands above so many others. And I'm actually wearing my official Kazoku Band t-shirt as I wrote this. And right before, if you do want to see the actual pages, I won't be showing any in this video. You can read the blog post in the description if you want to see the ones that I use, or you can go read the actual manga chapters yourself. I'll explain some relevant, important details for anyone who hasn't kept up with the manga. Kazoku Band is now signed with a music label, Stray Beat. There are two major characters that have been introduced. Miyako is an employee at Stray Beat who manages things with the band, such as helping them with their official activities. She is the only employee at Stray Beat we know of currently and is effectively Kazoku Band's manager. She's not in this chapter, but she is very relevant for Kazoku Band now that they are signed. And Ame is a composer for the band Glimpse Night, another band under Stray Beat. It's a duo band where Ame composes under an alias with little public info known about her, and the other member does the actual performing. They are a decently popular group, with them even having a song in an anime, which is a fun nod to how that is basically Eliza's dream. I really hope the second season of the anime, because I'm sure we're going to get it, and I really hope so, takes advantage of this and has either the opening or ending done by Sikak. That would just be perfect. They first met Ame in chapter 70 when they were going to a meeting with Stray Beat. She suffers from severe social anxiety and is a major focus of this chapter. So this chapter starts with the debut single that they've been working hard on being released. In chapter 73, we saw them recording the music video for it with their unique director Hal-san. This is Kazoku Band's first professionally made single and music video. Bocchi goes into her usual delusions of grandeur from a successful endeavor, where she's thinking about how the single is topping the charts and pushing her into stardom. We get a funny callback to the three party bros that they met at the beach of Enoshima that made Bocchi pop like a balloon. And the other members of the band who are actually in reality look at the community reactions, such as on social media. There are lots of positive comments online, as well as from people they know. The exceptions are a useless drinking post from our resident drunk Hiroi, and a fan who is afraid that Kazoku Band will get popular and change. There are always those people that are doom and gloom about their favorite creators being successful, which is a toxic way of being a fan and just brings unwelcome negativity. Thankfully, the girls aren't hampered by this comment. Everyone is happy about the positive reactions and solid views, but not thrilled that it did not do much better than their other songs. It can seem like they are making a good situation negative, as their single doing well is great, but when you've put extra effort into something, you will naturally desire better results. Getting better results helps motivate you to continue putting in the additional effort. Thankfully, this is not getting the band down too much as far as we can see. Ryo is acting cocky and self-absorbed per usual, but deep down she is worried about it and Nijika knows this. Nijika is a bit down that it didn't surpass their previous work, but being the good leader she is, she brings the focus back on this still being good and more reason to continue working hard. Back to Bocchi. She is mulling over the average success and wondering what she could do to help. We return to the recurring point of whether Bocchi should leverage her Guitar Hero account the one that she's been doing YouTube music covers on since the early parts of the series, to bring more attention to the band. The choice is not really about if it would work, that's not really what's important. It's about if Bocchi really wants that for herself. And for right now, she doesn't, but we'll get to why in a bit. She considers doing stealth promotions using her account instead, but her paranoid delusions appear and make her afraid that she would get caught, which would get her canceled by stealth marketing her own music. Thankfully, she has a great dad who would be proud of her cancellation and support her. This train of thought is interrupted by a DM from Ame, who has learned that Bocchi is Guitar Hero. This chapter does a great job of reminding us where Bocchi was at the start of the series and how much she has grown. It also uses this knowledge to give us a deeper look at Ame. Both of their origins are pretty similar. Ame and Bocchi both started out self-taught, uploading their music online and garnering a solid following. Where they diverged is how their online personas tie into their professional careers. Ame seems to have tied her online persona to her professional life, presenting as the same person, though anonymous, largely. While Bocchi is the opposite, who keeps them entirely separate. Ame presses Bocchi on why it is that she keeps it a secret, and we get a great explanation from Bocchi about why this is. We saw from the beginning that Bocchi cannot play as well in a group as she can on her own. So initially it was about not disappointing her Guitar Hero fans. Once she got properly invested in the band and got acquainted with the bandmates, she decided that she will continue keeping it a secret now so that the band can grow naturally as a unit and be what it wants to be. She also wants this opportunity for her to be able to properly grow herself as a person who's derogatory, not Guitar Hero. This is a sign of how much she has gained a proper sense of self, where she does not want to tie herself down to a persona that was full of lies and attempts to be conventionally popular. She wants the band to be about her and her bandmates, quirks and flaws included. This ties in with how Rio taught her to do what she truly wants to do, rather than what she thinks is the best thing to do. From the standpoint of being optimal, she should use Guitar Hero to get them more attention. That would definitely have a positive impact on the numbers front. That is not what she really wants deep down, and now she knows that she should be her true self. Once she has improved at being a guitarist for the band, and both her and Keisuke band has grown to what they truly want to be, then she will reveal it. She wants to surpass Guitar Hero both in skills and as a person. After hearing this, Ame gives her backstory. It turns out that Ame has been a fan of Guitar Hero since Bocchi first started. She was there through the cringe aspects of the account, such as Bocchi leaving weird false comments about being popular and having girlfriends, which we knew of beforehand, and the moments where she was getting hate and criticism, which is actually new information to us. But despite these issues, she kept at it. This had a huge effect on Ame. Like Bocchi, she struggles to have the courage to strike up a conversation and accurately verbalize her feelings, but when it really counts, she is able to, as we see in this chapter. There's just one example of how they're very similar. Ame can serve as a reflection of Bocchi's past self. She is not exactly the same, but is suffering from many of the same issues that Bocchi has. She struggles with being around people, has very bad negative self-talk, and struggles to communicate directly. And because of what Bocchi has done as Guitar Hero, and what she has learned from meeting her in person, Ame has idolized Bocchi. Bocchi continuing to do her content despite her issues gave her comfort in continuing with music through her own problems. We have seen Bocchi grow from someone who needed a box over her head to be on stage to being able to do it uncovered. She thought she would not be able to make friends or be in a band, but now she is. Bocchi was able to do this in large part to the support of the Keisuke band members. They supported her through her struggles to improve. Ame was able to get support from Bocchi's efforts online in the past, then gets motivated by her again when she learns that Bocchi is a fellow recluse who was able to improve. It definitely means a lot to Bocchi to see how she's been able to help someone push forward, especially someone in a similar situation to her, like how Keisuke band pushed her forward. So this is about how people can support each other both through various kinds of direct and indirect actions. But both of them are able to progress forward and improve themselves through the support of others. This also gives Bocchi a renewed sense of purpose and reminds her of the positive impact she can have, despite her problems. She may have flaws, especially before Kasuku Band, but even then, she was able to help Ame continue doing her music and become successful. So the most important thing to me for the introduction of another anxiety-ridden character is that she feels sufficiently different enough from Bocchi so that we don't feel like we're only retreading old territory, but also enough similarities that she can serve as a point of comparison for Bocchi. Being different is also important for the portrayal of anxiety itself, as anxiety in people's behaviors while suffering from it come in many shapes and forms. I do not want social anxiety to feel like an oversimplified condition that is just used for a character quirk for laughs and endearment. Thankfully, it has been done very well through Bocchi, and continues to be done well here through Ame. I have struggled a lot personally with social anxiety and negative self-talk. I am much better now, but in high school especially, it was really bad. One thing I've done and sometimes still do that we see in this chapter through Ame is her working up the courage to send the DM, but not mustering up enough courage to actually see and acknowledge the response until hours later. She was able to get the courage to do that first action, but not follow up on it. So, like, she's just like me for real, jokes aside. This series does a great job of showcasing the true struggles of social anxiety and showing how people can grow and have an impact despite them, while simultaneously also using it for great jokes without any detriment to the messages. After Ame cuts off the call, we see her happy about how she was able to talk to Bocchi, but falls into despair over how awkward she is. They really are two anxious peas in a pod. The chapter closes out with Bocchi doing a minor bit of self-promotion in the opposite direction, getting a big head over Ame praising her as Guitar Hero. This leads to a great reality check joke, as the character has absolutely no idea who Guitar Hero is. So this was a really great chapter. I like Ame as a character, and I'm glad to have gotten more introspection from Bocchi, because her whole experience with social anxiety is a huge part of this. And when it's not being done for comedy, focusing on it in a more serious way is really nice. It helps her be more endearing other than just being pathetic and struggling. She really does feel much more of a solid character that's not just a one note, like, joke, sad cringe machine. If you're interested in keeping up with the Bocchi the Rock manga, please follow for future posts. I love this series and intend to keep doing reviews for each chapter going forward. And like I said before, I might do other ones just in general talking about the series. Thank you for listening, and please support Bocchi the Rock with more than just your words if you can. The manga volumes have started to be officially translated into English and are published by Yen Press. Currently, the first two are out, and as of now are being released seemingly every 3 months or so, which is actually pretty fast by manga standards. A lot of them have like 2 volumes coming out in a whole year. This is what I've been waiting for, so I can go through the early parts of the story in the manga. So please consider getting the manga and merch to officially support Bocchi the Rock, and thanks again for listening.